David Keenan on indiebuddy.com. What can you expect from the album? Well, it's a collection of songs that maps my evolution as a human being over the last 4 years. So there are a couple of songs on the record that are from 4 years ago and right up to August. So the record was done in 5 days in May. It's a live record. I wanted to capture the reality of it, the reality of the relationships between me and the musicians. Those relationships had solidified over a space of 2 years, and wanted to capture that, the energy there. For me, life isn't click-tracked, so I wanted to do it live and to let reality in. And then a song called The Healing on the record came in August, early August, and we went back in and spent 2 more days recording. So the song was, the record was done over 7 days in the studio. And I suppose for me, in hindsight, because when you're in it, you don't have that privilege of retrospection. But I think that there's a cohesive narrative that runs through the record. Each song is its own individual, but I think they all stand beside each other, and that's why it's taken me a couple of years to reach the point. Things had to align for me to make this album. We can't control the way the wind blows. So I had to kind of be patient. A lot is explored in it. Again, I think that's something you could probably look at in from this perspective now. But I'm constantly writing, and I've been writing for a good few years, and I never sit down to write a song. I just write, and sometimes a song appears. I like that analogy that you said about things having maybe a number of meanings, and that's an encouraging thing to hear, because again, it's all subjective. People have their own opinion, their own interpretation of a song, and it's none of my business what somebody else thinks it's a song. That's their own experience. But I suppose you can develop your own voice over a number of years just by living life. There's no separation, it's all connected. So when I sit down to write, I think I've reached a point where that I'm getting better at calling myself out on my own bullshit, So if I feel like I'm lying in any way, then I have to look a bit deeper, and so the process can take more time. But again, I just sit down and I write, and I have to work at it, I don't purposely think of anybody else when I'm writing the song. Do you know what I mean? I'm not thinking of an audience when I'm writing the song, so I'm not intentionally setting bear traps for people, or kind of riddles. But the words come out, the song is written, I have an understanding of it. It brings me, it's a passport to get me to a certain headspace, Then when I'm playing it live, it's a different thing altogether. But I'm not aware of anybody else when I'm writing it, unless I'm writing, trying to channel certain emotions about an individual, or my interpretation of that individual, But I'm not sitting down writing for an audience, Well, who knows, that the song came in London. I was living in London, I was living in a Rubik's Cube block of flats, and I wrote on the guitar. I had to whisper it because my housemate was always giving out to me for playing the guitar late at night. That's where I kind of woke up, it was at night time. But I was kind of wandering around the Pistons of Rain on my own for a few months in London, and maybe I kind of took on the character of, this old songwriter in a coat covered in dog hair, with a suspicious looking mustache, and I don't know, but yeah. I think as well, you're right, you're reminding me as well, I came across this article in a newspaper about those guys, a couple of men who'd written songs for Elvis and Sinatra, and I didn't recognise one of their names, and they'd all written these great songs, but they were kind of nameless, lost in the annals of time, So I pictured them all living together in this derelict estate, which was kind of a representation of, you know, some of the side streets that I'd seen walking around London on my own in the coat, and you know, these kind of beautiful bowsies who'd written all these great songs who nobody remembered, and the romance in that, you know, and the tragedy, the tragedy in that. But so yeah, that's Tin Pan Alley. Probably is the name of the world, or the street where all these people live. And I'm just kind of, I'm walking, observing them, interacting with them. You know, an old fella picking flowers by the roadside. You know, I was a household name during the last days of Rome. You know, but there's kind of there's a real hope in it. They're not victims. You know, it deviates. You know, it can be. It doesn't discriminate. You know, songs coming or words are coming. You know, I'm just grateful that they're flowing. You know, but you can certainly embody a kind of voice that's coming within, or you know, like that's the thing about a song. It's kind of, it's this universe that you step into, and you can become this, or you can use it to speak really subjectively, or then you can, maybe if you're not feeling brave enough to speak in your own voice, you bring in somebody else's voice to allow you to get to the next line to speak in that voice, you know, because maybe you don't feel, oh, I haven't got the balls to get there, but maybe this character will let me get there, and then I'll say what I'm saying, and then I'll feel that I vented then, you know, because I've said what I need to say, but maybe that's where the character aspect of it comes in. And sometimes you just see in the short film that's kind of playing, you know, in the head, and you're just trying to write it down before it disappears, you know. You know, I think girls are very complex as well. And that's subject, man and woman, and love, or what is love, or, you know, they're plain and profound at the same time. You know what I mean? You know, traveling, and I mean, over the last couple of years traveling, I've been traveling a lot, and life informs the output, you know. I haven't gone off and kind of, you know, lived in a cave for a long period of time. You know, if I did that, I'd probably be able to travel in the imagination, like you say. But when you're traveling, you're experiencing things. So naturally, you know, the first place that I go to is the notebook, you know, because it's just what I've always done, you know. So if there's something in this conversation that remains with me, I'll document it, and maybe I'll come back to it, and it'll germinate into some sort of idea, you know. So I suppose naturally, if I'm constantly traveling and I'm constantly doing that, then songs that's gonna inform the song, or whatever comes because of it, you know. And the motion of traveling, being kind of animated all the time, I find it helps the lyrics. But you know, it's important for me as well to, when I get back to Ireland, to be able to get connected again and centered, you know, because you can't, otherwise you just kind of entered the arena of the unwell, and it's that great quote goes. Whitney and I. No, I think for me it was a natural starting point, because I mean, the song itself, isn't solely about James Dean, you know. He just happened to be a character in it, kind of saying to me that, you know, I'm sick of this fucking bullshit of being an icon, you know. You know, and he was invaded by it, and he just wanted to drive a train for Aaron. He just wanted to drive a train, you know. And I just related to that idea in the moment, you know what I mean? I mean, I wrote it a couple of years ago, and it was in a box room in my mother's house, you know, and it just kind of came spewing out. But there's a lot of different imagery in that song. It was sparked by, you know, I heard that Samuel Beckett was stabbed when he was living in Paris by a pimp, you know. So I mean, the song was kind of going, you know, come on, if you're not going to write me, somebody else is, man, you know. it just seemed like a good starting point. I tried to record the song with an acoustic guitar, and it wasn't happening, you know, because I'd done that already. There's already a version there on the guitar, acoustic. So again, you let reality happen. So I picked up an electric and I recorded it like that, and it was more interesting to me in that way. But yeah, I think probably disenchantment from maybe being somebody's martyr or something, I don't know. Just that image came into my head, and it seemed to be a nice way to put it into a chorus, you know. Well, I mean, they're closely related, but it was years apart, you know. So I wrote the song 2 years ago in London, and it sprung out because as a result of a conversation with a woman that I was falling in love with, you know, and in her kind of vulnerability, she was opening up to me, I was opening up to her, and in that exchange of vulnerability, it just kind of sparks something, you know. I'm just like my mother, only she hides it better. I mean, that says so much, you know, without even having to ask, but what's she hiding? You don't have to ask. So I went back to the studio, and I can only play a few chords on the piano, but it lent itself to what I needed, and I was flying back and forth to London at the time, working with somebody over there, and I had a load of sick bags that I was writing on the planes, because, you know, my notebook would be in my bag, so a souvenir, and I'd scribble on this thing. So I put them all out on the floor, and just became fascinated with the idea of kind of this young woman in an act of rebellion, just confronting all her own repressions, you know, trauma, sexual repressions. She was just kind of standing up and putting her chest out to dogma or whatever, you know. So that's how the song came about. Seance, you know. But then the video was only recently enough, and it was a collaboration with a director, Mark Logan, and again, he had his own external understanding of what I was saying in the song, and we kind of found common ground. So then the gift of, you know, hindsight allowed me to kind of, okay, well, it lends itself to all these other things as well, you know. It's just about lending itself to kind of being an outcry against any kind of fucking institutionalized, you know, restrictions of the body, of the mind, of the spirit. You know, yeah, well, it was healing, you know. It was an exorcism of sorts, you know. Just a very generous experience, you know. The nature of the fan, you know, there were. I'm talking about his fans. There were, you know, full rooms every night. So when you're coming out as a support act, it's an incredible thing to have a full room in front of you. I got to see, you know, cities I'd never been to, and just that whole crew were just kind of so open, you know, just real equality throughout the whole thing, and a real sense of decency and community. And it was a great gift, and he's a beautiful being. He really is. Yeah. It's. I have to allow myself a sense of pride for that. You know, a small sense of pride, because it's a place I've always wanted to play. I played a couple of times. Dermot Kennedy was good enough to let me support him there, and Hosier as well. But yeah, it's a real chance to try. But we can't control what happens, you know what I mean? But just try to kind of set up certain parameters, you know, just to sculpt the gig, to build the gig, build it as an experience, you know, visually, you know, with the different players on the night, the songs. But it's a kind of opening a lid, and it's a beautiful way to start a new year, man. You know, but the record will be out by then as well, and I've got an incredible band of musicians, people that I love and I learn from constantly, you know. So we're on tour at the minute. It started last weekend in Mayo, and we're off to Galway this weekend, and it's all through Ireland until the 13th of January. So by then I mean, the whole experience is going to give us and inform a lot. But when we get there, I know we'll be charged. Well, I'd say, don't start it because you're looking for a career. Just do it because it's medicine for you. You're not doing it for anybody else. You're not doing it for the neighbour or your mother or father. You're doing it for you. And there's masters of the craft. There's if you're any kind of art, if you want to investigate any avenue of art, there's a body of work there from masters and incredible men and women that have left all this behind to draw from. But listen to your own intuition and spend time on your own, developing that voice, your own, and trust it, and be willing to make mistakes. Mistakes are incredibly important for development. Don't be afraid of solitude. Embrace it. Don't be afraid of criticism or praise, because criticism and praise are kissing cousins. They're the same thing. It's dangerous to look into it. They're all external opinions of yourself or your work. If you think that you're saying something in truth and that it has it stands up to whatever kind of thing you want it to, it's its own thing. And that should be your only guide. So, you can give advice, but if there is any advice, don't take any advice. Just go out and live, and say what you need to say, and stand by your truth. Don't look for any praise on it. Well, after the Olympia, I've got a month living in Paris in the Irish Arts Centre, and I've got a collection of words that I'm going to put out in the new year. I'm hoping to publish that. Then March and April is a UK and European tour, and then there's talk of going back to America and Australia. But who knows? In the middle of next year, I'd like to record the next album and put it out towards the end of next year. I've got a body of songs that I've got a decent body of songs that I can work from. But there's always something in the post, So again, it's dangerous to kind of live off the fats of a previous day or week or month or gig. You're only as good as your last gig, and it's all about what really excites me is the next song, and trying to earn the next one, by doing the work, just tweaking here and there, writing. I don't mean to paint a picture like it's real fucking hard labour. I really enjoy it, but for me anyway, I need a certain discipline at it, Well, a good friend of mine, Harry Hoban, said to me once, if you have writer's block, write about having writer's block, and that's always stuck me well. So I think anything that I do outside of music is going to help me. It's going to benefit my output as a musician, as a writer. So I think that's important as well. And there's other avenues that I've been investigating as well, in terms of writing, or whatever, being out in nature. You do what you have to do to grease the wheels. Thank you for your time. It's been a joy.